A lot of my friends back in the day were like, why do you feed trolls? I'm like, because I respect other people's points of view and I want to learn from conversation. All I'm ever doing is trying to take empathy, gratitude, kindness, positivity, optimism, and create repackaging for it in modern society to help somebody see it, because life is one big game of perspective. My biggest problem with people is they sell something they don't believe in. It's the thing that they've stumbled into. It's the thing that they just think they'll make the most money on. That's the thing that makes them most vulnerable super long term.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like 9 and 9. For my top 10, top 10, 9 and 9. This one's for my top 10.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So get ready to respect negative feedback, be grateful, and be authentic with Gary Vaynerchuk and my take on his top 10 rules of success to give you the confidence, motivation, and belief that you need. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule #1. Respect the negative feedback.
There's a lot of you out there that are happy, that are successful, and one of the things that's happening is you're putting out stuff and you're being crippled a little bit by the comments and you get angry. And we've created this term trolls. I don't look at it as trolls, I really don't. A lot of my friends back in the day were like, why do you feed trolls? I'm like, because I respect other people's points of view and I want to learn from conversation. Like everybody now is just like trolls, and any negative thing you get, people dismiss as hate, haterade, trolls. I read that shit. I read it because I would never want to become a caricature of myself. I need to make, I need to calibrate it. It definitely doesn't bring me down. Mm-hmm. I want to understand it. It allows me to adjust, and I have to adjust. We all have to adjust. I just think there's a lot of things going on in the system, but I really want to get people's minds more quiet, because it is just one big game of, are you valuing other people's opinions, or are you valuing your own process?
Yeah.
And just the validation from others is a no-win game. And I don't know what happened. I mean, I know what happened. Parenting and circumstance and environment. In hindsight, my ability to navigate high school without peer pressure, which is what I did, straight up. Like, it's been fun for my high school friends to be hitting me up on Facebook and stuff of that nature, They're just like, yeah, you really did do that. Like, I just didn't give a fuck.
Rule #2, be authentic.
It's really easy to be authentic. Don't say shit you don't believe in. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you know why this is important, and you'll appreciate this. In a world where people are pandering to vanity metrics, you know how many people hit me up, they're like, Gary, I want to be this, and I'm trying to do this on my social media, and I'm like, then don't put up half-naked pictures on your Instagram. And they're like, yeah, but that gets more likes. And I'm like, you're a f***ing idiot. Like, you just told me you're unhappy and you want this to happen, but you're pandering to likes on a platform that's not gonna be as relevant in a decade? Like, remember when you were in junior high and you got, or for you, like 3rd grade? You guys are so young. For the older people here, remember when somebody took you out of your top 8 on MySpace? Like, that used to really f***ing hurt. It doesn't hurt as much now.
Rule #3, be grateful.
All I'm ever doing is trying to take empathy, gratitude, kindness, positivity, optimism, and create repackaging for it in modern society to help somebody see it, because life is one big game of perspective. And if you've been raised by parents in an environment and have natural DNA that makes you look at something upside down, I've got to flip it. And when I say I have this enormous love and need for admiration that I've come to realize. Mm-hmm. Admiration will not come in the form of me making the most money. Admiration will not come in any other form than if I give so much more to you than I expect from you in return. Mm-hmm. I was gifted an ability of the gift to gab. I am creative. I understand attention graphs. I have work ethic. I have aspirations. All of that has created one big game where I feel responsibility to be able to get this message out in a way that won't get to people that can never become monks or that won't become disproportionately high educated philosophical. I'm in the trenches with my style, but it's the same product.
Yeah.
And so 400 trillion to one was one way for me to get people to be like, do you understand? There's nothing any of us in this room will accomplish that is even in the galaxy of that we have a chance to do something.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. What are you going to complain about today that is even remotely close to never having the ability to have a life? But like what? What are you going to complain about? Like what's so shitty in your life? Like you've got the at-bat. Even if you're the worst ranked person, 7.7 billion in the world, you're born to slavery and genocide in a fifth world country where you're raped every day, starved, slaved, lose your parents, no love. The game of life actually still creates the rare potential for you to break out of that and go on to do something and then bring positivity to the world better than not being born at all. I believe that.
Rule number 4, stop demonizing technology.
And you didn't demonize it, but society is starting to demonize, like, live in the moment, right? There's this photo that went viral as like 4 years ago with the Pope, and everyone's taking a photo, and there's that like 88-year-old lady, and she's just looking at it, and everyone's like trying to make it to be this great thing, and I was like, she didn't have a phone. like, why are we making letters on like, if I send you a really nice 3-sentence text tomorrow of like, how much I enjoyed today, right? Which now I'm not gonna do because I've said it out loud. But why does putting it on a piece of paper and sending as a note, because what? Because it made it seem like I put an extra 2 minutes into it. Like we're starting to do things where I think it's awesome that you chased around the butterfly. I think it's funny. I think it's funny and interesting. And like I don't know, like I don't want to stand there and just take in the butterfly. Like I think it's fun to chase it with the camera. That was just fun from a game standpoint. Butterflies move quick. Like that shit was hard. Like, you know, so like, I don't know. I again, this goes to like the currents that we live in society where like right now, like everyone's like, just take it in. I don't know. I wish I had photos of me at baseball card shows. Do you know how pissed I am? Let me say this right now. Do you know how sad I am that I don't have photos from 1989 to 1992 at the 87 different baseball card shows that I have, because I'd like to see them. I'd like to see them. So like, cool, I'm glad that everybody's demonizing selfie sticks and all this shit, but I promise you, in 39 years, while you were making fun of those people, they're gonna be thrilled to look at it, and their kids are gonna be very thrilled to look at it. And I'm super sad, because I don't have jack shit of my childhood. Like my Throwback Thursday game is whack as because I got nothing, because us Russians, we didn't really take photos.
Also, if you want to have more motivation, self-love, and confidence, check out my 254 series. They're free. The links to join are in the description below.
My ability to only be comfortable in massive chaos has been my biggest asset as an entrepreneur. Like, I would never take a f***ing note. Like, that scares the piss out of me what these 3 people are doing right now. In a success world, please understand that success is happiness, not net dollars in. I really think mindset is everything, and so you've got to really decide, are you going to be positive about things or negative about things?
Rule number 5, do what you believe in.
Nothing is more exciting than selling something you believe in.
Yeah.
The second you get paid $1 million under the table to even sell the glue, that's when you're f***ed. But if you're actually selling something you actually believe in, you'll win. My biggest problem with people is they sell something they don't believe in. It's the thing that they've stumbled into. It's the thing that they just think they'll make the most money on. That's the thing that makes them most vulnerable super long term. If you love it and you believe in it, there's a lot of things I could be selling that would make me a lot more money, you know?
Sure.
I love when I do like I do things I want to be doing. Like I love showing people how to, that have 20 bucks, how to like start living their life with more money. That's why I do trash talk. There's literally people that leave comments like, Gary Vee, this is not gonna help you buy the jets. No shit. I understand that 8 hours of my time is not making $309 is not necessarily the mathematical equation to get to the jets. But is it? Because if I help 40 million people live a much better life, if I'm $200 million short, when the time comes, can I crowdfund the last part? I think so.
Rule number 6, know yourself.
There is a yin and a yang to everything, and we should be the judge and jury of it. And back to your point, if it was cool for 2 minutes to chase it with a selfie, cool. And then if you're like, "F it, I'm an idiot, let me take this in," cool. And like, that's you and that's it. But everybody's taking everybody else's, like I'm watching people like see one piece of content and be like, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna sell my phone and write letters. I'm like, and they do it to me in the other way, right? They're like, Gary's right, I'm gonna do this. No, I'm putting out my perspective, filter that through you, take the good that works for you from that, leave the shit that you don't like. Most people aren't as competitive as I am. What's that fucking hockey thing called again?
Sauce.
Dude, I'm like still kind of like in it. Like I wanna go back and play sauce again.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like not everybody's that, that's why I love this. I love competing. And business for me is competing. And I wasn't built enough to be in the league. And by the way, all those years where I was sad that I wasn't an athlete, now I'm the happiest that I'm an entrepreneur, not an athlete.
Rule number 7, filter feedback.
I talk a lot about why people aren't capable of producing content to the world, which is now the requirement as a human to achieve happiness. I genuinely believe that. I believe taking advantage of all of our abilities to reach out to the world through these new channels with no friction is an enormous gift and opportunity. The reason most can't achieve it is because they're unable to take back the inevitable feedback that immediately comes with the opportunity. To your point, I genuinely believe the reason I can take the feedback is because when I go into my Instagram post that I just posted, literally in back-to-back comments, one will say that I'm walking on water and the next will say that I'm a snake oil salesman charlatan. The fact that neither penetrate my psyche is absolutely where I'm at.
Absolutely. And that's equanimity, right? Like that is that, whatever you want to call it.
It's the game because people want the positive reinforcement that, you know, there's so many models on Instagram, right? Men and women. You're so beautiful. You look so great. You're so beautiful. You look so great. You're full of shit. You look fake. They're crushed because they take too much in that you look so great.
Yes, and I think that's the point that we're hitting on here, which I love, is that overemphasis on positive, it's what makes the negative so hard to take.
It's also an incredible place for me to add some clarity that I haven't done a good job on historically, which is something I'm thinking a lot more about. Raghav, it's fun to see you here because we had this call yesterday. I'm like, look, I'm at my worst when I'm excited in an interview and I'm drilling a headline because I love doing it. It's fun. It's showmanship. It's wrestling, promo videos. It's my natural state. You know, I talk a lot about not giving a fuck about other people's opinions. It's also because I take the complete opposite approach, which is every negative piece of feedback that I get, I genuinely go into two places. A, I deploy sympathy and empathy for the person leaving the comment because inevitably, immediately on that action, I know that they're not in a good place. If you go to somebody else's social, consume it, and then spew hate, you're not in a good place.
No, absolutely.
You're unhappy.
Yeah.
Next, I start trying to see the insight to any truth in it. You know, the second that you're high on your own supply, you're vulnerable.
Yes.
And so
100%.
I don't give a fuck about anybody's opinion. Ironically, I value everybody's opinion. I just synthesize it and then decide to take the good from it.
Yes.
By deploying empathy and sympathy to the deliverer of the, I'm stunned by our lack of conversation in society right now on this part. There's a lot of judgment and hot takes and comments. We need to judge the person delivering the message.
Absolutely.
Like how is your mother's opinion of you have the same weight as Anonymous 54's comment on Instagram?
Yeah.
That is ludicrous.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the same way of how does a coworker's opinion, you have to factor that in different than your mother because your mother blindly thinks you're the best if you're lucky enough to have that mother, you know? And so it's super fast. It's just pulling from opposite directions. And I think, you know, I'm pulling so hard from opposite directions that my balance is coming in that.
Rule number 8, enjoy adversity.
I not only want to make failure an equal to success, I actually want to celebrate failure as, I've said this a lot in a lot of different ways. Do you want to hear something crazy actually to make this very meta? Charlie Hayes catches a ball in 1996, the Yankees win the World Series, and I have not watched a full Yankee game since, and I grew up a massive New York Yankees fan. The New York Rangers won the 94 Stanley Cup right across the street there, and I never watched another 90. I literally stopped watching my teams after they win a championship forever. I'm so about the failure and the process. The reason I love the Jets so much is how disaster it is. I'm I'm in love with the Knicks now. This is real good now.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I think I overskew that way. Like if you really watch me as an entrepreneur, something nobody in the outside who's watching right now, only Mark Yudkin, my lawyer, my financial people, I do so many things to sabotage myself, or like I pick kindness over success, or did many other things because I love losing. I genuinely am not kidding. When back to growing up in Jersey and those kind of places, going to a pickup basketball game, picking teams and losing the first game was always my dream. Because I love the feeling of trying to win the second game. I enjoy the feeling of trying to win a second game of pickup basketball, or I liked tennis a lot, and I was good at it. And one of the reasons I was good at it was I had a ridiculous record of winning the second and third set in comparison to almost anybody else on my team or like the coach had seen. Because I actually believe what I'm about to say. I think I actually threw the first set subconsciously, not, because I enjoy adversity.
Rule number 9, choose happiness over money.
An important part of perspective in today's day and age is I believe that the way we define success is fundamentally broken in human society. We are spending way too much money, way too much time on putting money on a pedestal and way little amount of time and energy into putting happiness on a pedestal. The amount of millionaires, people that make millions, 10 millions, hundreds of millions of dollars a year that I know that are disproportionately unhappy is staggering. And I really, really, really am passionate about getting a conversation into the ecosystem of like, why are you here? Like, why are you actually here today? What are you trying to accomplish? And do you have enough self-awareness and understanding about yourself to know what you're trying to achieve? Because I promise you, over this last decade, interacting with people at scale, publicly and privately, what's very obvious to me is that an enormous amount of people are trying to get success to put makeup around their actual insecurities. And they're spending all their time trying to make money to hide what's actually happening. They're trying to prove something to somebody else, not to themselves. And no level of you finding a path to making money is going to solve that issue.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is have fun.
Not our normal thing, D-Rock.
Gary V versus Wave.
I've now learned that the front foot is the back foot, and the back foot is the front foot, and I'm making slight progress. Guys, I'm an extreme sports superstar.
Yes.
Now I've got a special bonus clip from Gary on how to change your perspective that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3-point landing questions. Let's go from just watching a video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. What's the adversity you're facing that you need to enjoy? Number 2, how can you do more of what you believe in? And number 3, what's the negative feedback that you need to respect? And if you made it this far in the video, I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
What's really fascinating to me is something that's emerged as almost difficult to fully understand, which is it's unbelievable that life is as basic as how do you see it. For me, I've been saying a lot lately and have always to a lot of people close to me, a statement that says you find what you're looking for. If you're looking for negativity, it's very easy to find. If you're looking for positivity, it's very easy to find. If you think it's going to be successful, you start to see signals that lead to that. And if you think it's going to fail, you'll see that. If you're cynical and a pessimist, that's what you see. If you're optimistic and positive, that's what you're going to see. And really the vulnerability to the way I roll, which is optimistic and positivity, is you could become delusional. It's not practical. You think you can just dream it into success. You don't understand the requirements and the costs and the sacrifices that are needed to actually get somewhere. I think the biggest thing that I've been spending time on lately from a perspective standpoint is we are all now affected by the last 10 to 15 years of entrepreneurship. And when we look at stories like Facebook or WeChat or Uber or Weibo, we see these extreme, monstrous successes, and they cloud the fact that for the 15 companies that actually got to billions in revenue and actually run actual businesses, not predicated on venture capital, there's 80 trillion businesses that didn't, and we spend all our time fascinated on these enormous victories without spending our time on practicality. Evan, thank you so much for having a couple seconds and being able to tell the Believe Nation a little bit about Empathy Wines. It means a lot to me that you would take this valuable real estate and time on your channel to give me some love. It means a lot. It's just good karma points, and so you're awesome. Thank you. Believe Nation, if you're into wine at all, go to empathywines.com. My whole career's work was poured into producing a wine that rivaled $40 to $60 wine for $20 a bottle. I'm just super excited about this subscription-based wine business. You can order 3, 6, or 12 bottles in subscription form, rosé, white, red. If you search on Instagram or Twitter, you will be blown away. People are literally like, I don't even like Gary Vee, but the wine's good. Super proud of the effort. Thanks, Evan, for the time. Wishing you guys all happy and healthy.
If you want to learn how to market on social media like Gary Vee, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.